Hi, my name is Troy Anderson. I'm the owner of Anderson Training Systems, a fitness coaching business located in Tempe, Arizona. What I'm going to do is share with you today the complexes and burn series sequence for the Kettlebell Meltdown training system. As you can see here, I have some different apparatus, and we're going to go ahead and get into that real quickly here. Again, very similar to many of the other programs, we're starting with a big kind of core movement, or actually movements because it's a complex, and then we're going to have ancillary supporting burn series movements that are going to support that big movement and support all the other drills within the program itself. So this is day one of that sequence for the complexes and burn series. First movement first movement on day one is what we call an extended range of motion deadlift plus a high pull. Okay. What we have here is we're going to have two movements that we're going to combine together. We're going to do all of the first movement, and then we're going to move into our second movement. The second movement is more explosive and a little more advanced technically, so that's why we're putting it second, and that's why we're also putting it because the first movement is going to actually help us to reiterate or reinforce that movement, and we're also doing lower numbers repetition with that more technical movement. So that's kind of the way the programming goes. So we're on boxes. You can use anything for as far as extending the range of motion. The boxes, by being higher, is what extending range of motion or adding a greater range of motion. It's a really cool way to add complexity and progression to your movement cycles. You could use something as thin as, these are 6-inch boxes, but this would be, this is a rubber bumper plate. It's about 2.5, 3 inches thick. You could easily use something like this or anything else between. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure you have identical or matching pieces for your feet to sit on. But aside from that, you can use anything and advance into as deep you're probably not going to more about a 10-inch box, but as anything from that size down to even just a 1-inch size. So let's take a look at the extended range of motion deadlift. I'm actually going to let you look at a couple perspectives of it. So it's going to be here. Everything's the same about a deadlift. We're going to push hips back, engage the glutes, good trunk posture, pushing back, push knees wide, and then we're going to bend the knees at the last moment. A lot of weight on our heels. We're not going to get up on the balls of our feet. I'm going to give you a different angle here shortly. Reach here. Good posture, no rounding of the upper back, chest through the hands kind of, and push off. Trying to squeeze the glutes from the very bottom, reaching back, and push off. If you're doing a really good job of this, you're going to get real good engagement from the hamstrings. Let's take a look at this before I change angles. The second portion is a two-handed high pull. So all this is a deadlift or two-handed deadlift, accelerated high pull, meaning a vertical movement up the body. So we're going to accelerate the movement from our legs, not our arms. Our arms are simply guiding up, but it should almost have a weightless sensation. So here we go. Here. Okay, much like some of the other ballistic drills that we've looked at, the high pull, it should be very apparent to you, it's going to come back down. So you're going to have to get those hips back early. I'm going to go ahead and you'll get a real good perspective of it here. I'm going to do deadlifts again first, and then we'll go back to high pulls. So here, reaching back for good deadlift position, good chest posture. It's really critical that you keep your chest posture right, because it will actually denature all the rest of your posture. If I lose this and everything else, but you can see how absolutely pathetic that demonstration was as far as an improper way to do it. So good tall chest, reach back on heels, up and through. And then repetition, up and through. Okay, let's take a look at that high pull. Very conscious on getting hips back early and anticipating that kettlebell coming down. So we're going to come off the floor for the first rep. I'm not pulling with my arms. I'm guiding it up and into the body. As close as I can. So that's your first complex on day one. Extended range of motion deadlift, two-hand high pull. Let's go ahead and move on to our burn circuit drills. Next drill is what we call kettlebell push-up. Quite simply, this is taking two bells, placing them about shoulder width apart as you would with a normal push-up position, much like you would for a renegade row. We're going to get a nice firm grip on the bells, holding a nice vertical position here on the hands, as you'll be able to see. Got a little bit of unevenness here. I'm going to stem my legs back behind me just like I would in a normal push-up here, and then I'm going to lower my chest into the movement. Nice and tall. We don't want to shirk up. We don't want to sag in the middle. Bring the chest towards the floor and back up. Again, no break over on the wrist. You're going to get, if you do that, you're going to get pressure right down the middle of your wrist here. Very uncomfortable. So you want to take a firm grip, get vertical. Because of a little bit of the gripping and a little subtle instability with the kettlebell, also again extended range of motion, just like we kind of had with the deadlift. You can actually go a little bit deeper than your hand position is with these kettlebells if you're able to do it with good technique. And obviously we're getting much of the same push-up aspect from the lower body. It's having to do a lot of work to hold itself nice and tight together without allowing any discrepancies with the shoulders coming towards your ears or your low back sagging. If you find that you're getting a lot of this into your shoulders, you really need to do some quality work on your upper back, which is about what we're going to get into for our next movement. So this would be very important to you if you're having that problem. So we call it the kettlebell towel roll. I'm going to just take a normal sized towel, doesn't matter, right through the handle. I'm going to be as such. I'm going to drop the same size leg. I'm going to get good posture. You can place your off hand on your off leg, and we're just going to row up and back. Very similar to any other type of bent row that you may have experienced in the past. Just the grip, the thickness of the towel is going to challenge your grip, and you're just moving up and back, concentrating not to be too much work on your arm, but also just to drive back and use your back as much. You don't want to get any kind of over the shoulder top movement. You're going to come back. It's kind of cue that I like to use is as if you're going to reach into your pocket with that hand. So that's your kettlebell towel roll. Our final drill is going to address your core or trunk a little bit. So we call a T-side bridge. You can actually add a kettlebell to this if you're feeling really strong, but T-side bridge is going to be here, everything lined up, feet stacked, legs straight, elbow underneath shoulder. We're going to elevate off in a nice static position and hold, and then we're going to elevate arm off. Let's take a look. So we don't want to be over the top, we want to be elbow underneath us, reach and hold here, nice and rigid, glutes contracted. Obviously our trunk's doing a good bit of work here, and holding. If you're a real gun, feeling tough that day, you take a kettlebell, stack, up, and hold. Make sure you're not leaking out the hand, holding vertical, holding the trunk. We don't want to hold the kettlebell and be sagging, so we want to be up, make that trunk do some work. Again, that drill there with the kettlebell overhead is only for those of you that are a little more advanced. So, this has been day one of the Kettlebell Meltdown training series, kettlebell complexes and burn circuit. Hope you enjoyed it.